Our waterways are the lifeline that Indianapolis is built around. The White River and its tributaries have provided travel routes, sustenance and recreation from Native American communities to the urban neighborhoods of today. Waterways irrigate the farms that surround us, and the White River provides our drinking water. Indianapolis has had a complicated relationship with its waterways. During the city's early development, businesses were encouraged and sometimes even required by law to be located on the White River and to dispose of their waste in the river. By the 1800s, the White River was literally a dumping ground for industrial waste from canneries, oil refineries, and slaughterhouses. By 1915, the pollution was so bad that a new law was passed requiring cities using the White River to install sanitary sewer systems and treatment plants. This was also about the same time that George Kessler was designing and implementing our Parks and Boulevard system. Kessler's grand vision was to create a connected park system linked by Indy's key waterways. As was common practice at the time, Indianapolis's first true sewer system was a combined storm and sanitary system, and much of that still exists today. During heavy rains, this system overflows and sewage dumps directly into our waterways. Today, $2 billion in investments are underway to improve water quality, with city leaders and residents visioning a cleaner river future. Still, it's important to understand where our water, a vital resource, comes from and where it goes after it flows through our city. The rivers and streams of Indianapolis are part of the White River Watershed, which covers over 2,000 square miles of central Indiana. A watershed is an area of land where water drains into a single larger body of water, such as a river, a lake, or an ocean. Every square inch of land on Earth is part of a watershed. If you live on land, you live in a watershed. Indianapolis, situated in the Upper White River watershed, was built beside the West Fork of the White River, which starts as a small creek near the Ohio border and winds gently westward, fed by small streams, growing larger and more significant as it flows. In Indianapolis, it's fed by tributaries like Central Canal, Fall Creek, Little Eagle Creek, Pleasant Run, and Pogues Run before making its way south to the Wabash and eventually to the Gulf of Mexico. Our watershed sustains life in more ways than one. It supplies drinking water, irrigation, recreation, industry, and provides habitat for wildlife. When it rains, all the water drains off surfaces like roofs and yards and streets. Imagine all the potential contaminants that could be picked up by that rainwater. Litter, chemicals from the lawn, oil on driveways, and bacteria from pet waste. Even places that seem far from the White River directly impact the quality of the water. In that way, everyone's homes and workplaces are waterfront property. The waterways within our watershed touch every aspect of life in Indianapolis. Reconnecting to Our Waterways, or ROW, is a collective impact initiative formed in 2012 that works alongside communities to improve the quality of all life along Indianapolis's waterway. ROW brings together community members with leaders and experts across Indianapolis to undertake hyper-local projects that connect people to the waterways, whether the White River or those tributaries that drain to the river. When people understand the value and the many ways they can engage with the waterways, they will be more motivated to care for them. ROW creates opportunities for education and learning along our waterways, educating about the role of the Central Canal in our urban water system, celebrating history and habitat in Little Eagle Creek, and showing the importance of native plants in Pleasant Run are just a few examples. Art and science adventures with the Da Vinci Pursuit teach skills through interactive, water-focused events. ROW partners and communities are also bringing families and neighbors together to share waterway experiences. Groundwork Indy and Friends of the White River's youth float trainings on the White River, bike tours that highlight spaces on Pogues Run, and a community fishing initiative along Central Canal. Bringing residents in direct contact to recreate along our waterways provide more reasons to appreciate and care for the watershed. Larger-scale collective action is also needed to restore habitats for the health of our watershed. ROW and its partners are removing harmful invasive plant species and replacing them with deep-rooted native plants at the Urban Wilderness Trail on the White River, the Urban Orchard along Fall Creek, green spaces along Pogues Run, And in the Little Eagle Creek area, to improve water quality and restore waterway habitats on which all living things depend. Waterways also contribute to quality of life for Indy's neighborhoods. Rose Green Infrastructure Training Initiative along Pogue's Run for citizens transitioning from incarceration and Rose Development Accelerator are supporting economic vitality. Those engaged in ROW are envisioning housing, business, public space, and connectivity projects to improve stability and livelihood in their waterway communities. Arts provide another way to see and know our watershed. ROW works with local artists to increase beauty and create cultural experiences for residents and initiatives like Indy Convergence's A Rising Tide that brings performing arts to and on the White River, as well as placemaking along Pleasant Run with sculptures, seating, and educational signage. These efforts cultivate relationships with our natural spaces that bring communities to an appreciation of the innate beauty of the waterways themselves. Now that you know what a watershed is, you can take steps to make our waterways better and cleaner through your daily actions, whether it's inside your home, in your backyard, at your workplace, or in your wider community. Small actions add up to big impacts. Just as the White River's tributaries feed its waters, the White River feeds larger waterways and eventually make it to the world's oceans. We are all in this together, and each of us can play a pivotal and positive role in improving our waterways. Learn more and get involved at ourwaterways.org.